Alright guys, Dustin here, and as you know, I love shooting steel. Steel is just it's the best target, because it's reactive, it gives you that instant feedback, it's gratifying, and I have accumulated a lot of it over the years. You haven't seen some of these because they're in storage, so we're just going to do a walkthrough on all these steel targets, but first, some of the safety things. Don't just shoot homemade steel, guys. This is all AR 500. Some of it might be 400 for the Rimfire, but for the most part, you need armored steel. You need to hang it at a certain direction. It needs to be passive. You need to be a certain distance away, and always wear your eye protection. I have my Whirly X's on today, and they have saved my eyes in the past, and I will go over that in a later video. But for now, let's just shut up and look at these. All right, first up, these are ones that I use for long range when I need a little bit of portability because this whole system will fold up nice and small. These is from G3 Targets, and here's a disclaimer. I haven't looked up a lot of these in the past, so some of these may be out of production, but the cool thing about the G3 Targets is it has a laser etched grid onto it. So you can see your 1-inch increments, so you know exactly how big your group size was when you hit it. And I always use steel target paint. Now, okay, in the past I just buy the cheap dollar Walmart paint. That junk is just watery mess, and you will actually end up using more of it than if you use the legit steel target paint that just covers great. It sprays like a water hose. It's water-based, so it comes off easy, so you can get it on your hands and mess. So invest in that. This is the Guns Gong Crazy Target, and the cool thing is it's just a really loud one. Now the stand it comes with, this is legit just a sawhorse that they ship it with, but it's so loud you can hear it over a long ways away. So this is like my 500 and up yard target right here. We have a sympathetic vibration down there and something's buzzing. It's funny. So for the most part, all of my torso targets are from Defense Targets. This is their large gong one. I actually got it when I did the shooting off the trampoline until I found out I'm actually pretty darn accurate and I could even shoot down a plate rack with it. But the kids absolutely love this at marksman camp because, again, just a real loud, long sound. And then you've got like the Vitals one over there, the Gnome one, and everything. The hostage head sure makes a difference, because shooting the torso is one thing, but those hostage head add-ons are definitely worth the money, and I really like, the precision of them. Now this is the most expensive because it's also the most awesome. When I'm really going out long range and you want to just set something out in the middle of a field, you can set this LaRue sniper target out and forget it. You shoot it, and then it falls. So, oh man, we have to go 500-600 yards and reset it up again. Or you wait around 9 seconds, pops back up on his own. The only downside is you do not want to shoot it while it's still resetting, which is why I don't pull it out at marksman camp, because I don't want the kids just peppering a steel plate. And it would also be at an unsafe angle and send your rounds skyward if you did it at the wrong time. But for long range stuff, that one can't be beat. This is one of my most used defense. This is the Ready Ship target. Finally broke the metal itself, and that's something about AR 500. You don't want to really weld on them. It'll create a soft spot. Soft spots are dangerous spots because if it bowls, then that projectile, the shrapnel, the fragging can come back towards you. So I just let it hang. But this tree behind it was pretty cool because this is like the Ready Ship Dueling tree. It ships in all these little sections, so you can build it as much as you want, but then you're saving shipping, because it can go by USPS, because we all know shipping is expensive. So the steel target industry tries to get around that and just find whatever fits in a USPS flat rate box, and that's where this came from. I would not use this dueling tree for competition reasons because it just sometimes doesn't want to go all the way back and forth. Maybe that has to do with the level, but there's a little bit better options for legit competition. But for recreation, sure is fun. This is the Know Your Limits target from Shoot Steel for the precision long-range rifles. I like it, of course, even close range with pistols and whatnot, and one of my favorite things to do is to get them swinging, and get them swinging so much that you can make them flip end over end. I don't know if I've ever done the blue one, but I do this one with 30 cal and up, and then the others, 223 and 9mm. You can do 45 on this, and you can get it flipping over, and it's pretty cool. And it all just uses regular conduit. So yes, the legs and stuff are shot up because targets are placed in front of them and whatnot, but so what? Once we shoot it up, I got extras you just replace. Actually, this may be my oldest one, and it still looks brand new, except the base has rusted away, but it just mounts on a 4x4, which is kind of cool. This is the LaRue Fast Target, and so it has a little bit of bounce when you hit it with some higher calibers, but it also, this big puddle here is just from the deflection. But this little setup has lasted, I've had it for 10 years, it's still going strong. This came in Tack Pack one day. You've heard me talk about them before. They've sponsored. I think my code is TOPSHOT. Use TOPSHOT, you get a free bag of gear when you sign up for Tack Pack. And so they, you know, hey, it was right here. T-post hanger done. This is another, I think this was from G3 that had the nice laser grids on it. Prairie Dog was given to me by a friend. I think it's Action Targets or something. It's held up well, but these hangers are made by Premier Targets. I like the weight on it though. And we'll get to that on my plate rack in a second. And that makes those fun. This is the Action Targets dueling tree. Works great. This is the one that you'd want to use for competition. We use it for centerfire rifle, 100 yards and back, and then centerfire pistol, but they're heavy. And sometimes you have a weak 9 and you just shoot the inside, it's not going to work too great. And you really have to hit it enough that it really wants to flop. But that's a high quality one. Premier Target plate rack, one of my most used ones because it's made right over in Louisiana and he was close enough to, he even brought it to me. But they work great. We have the lighter plates so they fall down when you hit them with the 22 and then handguns. You get heavier plates, use them for centerfire rifle, but that's kind of dumb because unless you run a 100-yard string, you can't reset. But that's what I like the most about reactive targets, that you can reset without going down range. That's what works the best. We've gone over Grizzly targets before. It's got its own video. Pretty cool. The galvanized plating is what makes this target different, is because it'll last forever. Still a fun one because you can shoot through and kind of have your bullseye deal right there. More little targets from Premier Targets right there. I've got different size plates for the dueling trees. These are just our fun ones for the kids. Sometimes it doesn't bounce, it doesn't reset again, so we use the Action Targets that has a little more forward lean for the actual competition, but these are a blast for the recreational portion. This is one of my favorites because it's big on precision. This is the Bullseye Challenge target. There's a 0.9-inch hole right here. I have a dedicated video like probably 8 years ago towards it. We still use it, have never had any issues with it at marksman camp, and we just challenge them to have to send that bullet clean through the hole. Since it's armored steel, it'll actually shave your bullet in half, but when you get it and you can get that paddle on the other side, bragging rights right there. I have not used this target too much. This is the Challenge Target's quick draw target. I thought I'd like it a lot more, but you really have to have an even set opponent. And so it's like you quick draw on it, shoot, and then whoever shot it first, his pad will be on the inside. You pull the string, and then you can reset. It just didn't end up working for us in our program, but it's still a neat idea, and some of you may like it. This is a Shoot Steel Know Your Limits Rimfire target. Again, one of my favorites just because you can go so precise. You got the like 1 inch, 1.5 inch, and this I believe is like your 3/8 or yeah, it's probably 3/8. But you can get it with even just a straight stick, so you're just shooting even just you don't even have a nub on it. But when you hit it solid, they spin, and you can just challenge yourself all the way down. MGM football target. At first, we went through a lot of issues breaking them, and they finally just sent me extra pieces, and this has been running strong for years now. We haven't had it break any. Maybe it's just a bad batch. But we use it where one team will shoot the top of the target and try to move it this way. The other team will return and try to shoot the bottom of the target, hitting it that way. Leverage matters because you're expending the most energy, but whoever's got the target on the other person's, oh, it kind of jammed up. If that happens, I always have a backup rifle so I can shoot the plate to make it drop. This is, I think, CMC Designs or something. It's just a plate rack. It's 22 plate rack, but it works great because we can shoot it down, and you shoot the bottom edge of it, you can flip them back up. So another one of those things that you don't need to come down range to reset. Salute Targets made this once upon a time. Don't know if it's in production anymore, but it's a rimfire flipper target. 3-gun guys are familiar with the whole flipper thing. You gotta shoot one in, you gotta shoot the other, you gotta, come on, get some momentum, hit it right, make it go all the way over just like that. You wins! But the problem is, you rush your shots, And this is why I love using it, because the kids will rush their shots and then jerk the trigger and then they miss. Or they're not paying attention, not shooting with both eyes open. You don't have that depth perception and you accidentally shoot it and stop it in the wrong target. Or you just plain miss, don't time it right, have to reload, and then you lose all your momentum. But in a perfect world, 4 shots makes it over. Double tap, triple tap, even better. That doesn't always happen though. TA Targets makes this falling dueling tree. We love it. You each take 1 tree. So this is the Rimfire paddles. I also have a little larger paddles for centerfire rounds. But when you hit it, it'll actually drop. And so you just 8 well-placed shots will make it fall all the way down. And a lot of times I don't tell the kids what's going to happen. And we just let them get to the end. And then they hit it and they're like, "You broke my target." That's what you're supposed to do. This one's fun. The only downside, you gotta go down range to reset. If you've watched this before, you know I like this guy. This is the Whirly Bird Texas Star, but this is a Rimfire one. They're harder to find. I think, again, it's, we'll check the description or comments. I'll have to find us like CMC targets. I'm getting dizzy, but I've put Firebirds on them before and shot them. There's strategy to it, but they're a lot of fun. The only downside part is after you shoot it, you gotta reset. Dueling trees and plate racks aren't that way, but they have their place and they're great for competition. The MGM popper targets. You put a clay up here. This is usually shotgun, of course. You hit it, it drops, clay goes up, shoot the clay in the air, part of our 3-gun challenge. You can't do a 3-gun challenge without a popper target. This is the Action Targets Rimfire dueling tree. Works great, is never broke, and it's good for competition. Occasionally, you know, you'll have one that falls out of play, and you just say, hey, it's out of play, but usually you get enough back and forth that eventually will fall down. Action Targets also made this little jack target. Bought a couple of them. They're good to have in the field, but they're no good for competition because they eventually just kind of go sideways, and you can't. I was hoping we could race with them. Doesn't work that great, but they are still fun to shoot, and they're like 15 bucks, so yeah, good enough. Now this, you cannot get this anymore. This is the Caldwell Shooting Gallery. It's probably 12 years old now, and when we first started Marksman Camp, it was perfect. You shoot it, and then it auto resets. Again, that's one of our main things, is having reactive targets that you don't have to go down range to set up. But and this is one of them, and we've replaced several of these paddles. I've re-welded the bottom where they break. And too bad they don't make anymore, but I can see why, because I mean, come on, it's like it was over 200 bucks, and it was kind of a niche market there, but it was a fun one. So that is my fun steel playground, guys. If you come to Marksman Camp, you can shoot with me. Bring your kiddos there. But besides that, we'll leave some links down below, especially on Facebook where it's allowed. YouTube, not so much. But hit up our Facebook page, and we'll have a place where you can get them. And some of those links will support us here. I guess that's all for today. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye. Did you see that? We good? Come on, Nussie! Come on, Nussie! Yeah! I came in like a wrecking ball! Yeah! Oh, perfect! Yeah!